Today, I'm here with the definition of purpose in motion. Adrian Mobley started off her career in healthcare, and now she's kicking down doors in construction. She's the founder of Aaron Wellness Safety Training Company and A&W Contractors, an organization rooted in faith, integrity, and excellence, dedicated to equipping and empowering communities across Chicago. Adrian, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing well, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, anytime. Thank you for making time for us little people. All right. For those who are watching today, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Tell us about Adrian.
Okay, well, of course, my name is Adrian Mobley. I am the founder of Aaron Wellness Safety Training. I live in Inglewood community. I was a respiratory therapist for about 25 years, and for some apparent reason, God blessed me with a dream, and it was two: one to start a different kind of business, and one to start CPR, safety training company. And so obviously I acted on it and began that business. I have two children, two girls.
Okay.
Both of them work with Aaron Wellness Safety Training in different positions.
Okay.
So this is not only this is a female family-owned business.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You're killing it. I want you to expound on this dream, this vision you saw to get started. Like, can you tell us a little more about that?
Um, I want to say maybe in the latter end of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream, and it was one was start a recovery home out of the property I currently had, and the other was to start a CPR training. So it was like in the dream, I was teaching CPR, and and it was like start a company. That was the dream. And so at the end of the day, that was the one that was the easiest for me to start because I had already lots of experience in providing CPR. So it was just as simple as learning how to become a trainer and obviously start the business and all of that. And so I just got on the journey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I asked you that because we have a similar story. I had a dream as well. So that dream moved me to start Pinpoint Precision Engineering.
Oh,
I remember there was a conference the next day, but I woke up from this dream. And in this dream, God told me to go to this conference. Now, this conference way in Detroit.
wow.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. So I hopped in my car. Last minute, I just packed my bag and I went. And that was just the start of everything. I saw the opportunities. I saw what was out there, and I went. So yeah, the Lord speak, to us in dreams. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just our job to just do it.
yeah, to listen,
Yep. Once we listen, but
hear, yeah,
not make reasons or excuses as to why we can't do it.
the fears, right?
Right.
So talk to me. What fear did you have at the time before starting?
I can't say I had a fear of starting. I just didn't know what the route was, if that makes sense. So, I knew of a gentleman at the previous job I worked at, and he was a CPR instructor. So I just simply do what I always do, ask questions. So I asked him the process, like where do you go to get the training? How much do you charge? Learning how to charge was the craziest thing. But I just went through the initial process of starting the business. That was not difficult
Yeah.
either. What I didn't know anything about was like minority certifications, anything like that. But I learned that because I started going as I was promoting my business
Yeah.
and going to these vendor events. Then I started finding that people in construction needed CPR and first aid. And then I started learning they needed other things like OSHA 10 and 30-hour training. And then I learned later about flagging that they needed that as well. And so once I became an OSHA trainer, I learned I can become a safety consultant.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing safety consulting services for companies and getting out on actual construction sites and interacting with major companies and smaller companies. And it just kept growing from there.
So you was building block by block.
Absolutely.
You saw a need in the industry. You went and you listened. Hey, we need this. Here's an opportunity here. Here's an opportunity there. And you was able to pivot and conform to those needs in order to build your business.
Absolutely. And that's how the business consistently have grown is a lot of pivoting. Every time that there was a need,
Mm-hmm.
if it was something that I was capable, or I believe I'm capable of doing, I just went out and, learned it and started doing it. And then I push on the companies that I want to do business with. I become very persistent.
Yes, you have
Very
to.
persistent.
You have to. How important is networking for you?
Network is extremely important.
Mhm.
So without adequate networking, I wouldn't have any of the contracts that I have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any of the relationships, because everything, even some companies I have relationship with and you have yet to do business with them, but because of the relationship at the right opportunity, that'll happen as well.
Yeah.
So
It
relationship
just
is
takes
important.
time.
It does.
So you need a lot of leads, a lot of opportunity to get in front of folks and have a good conversation. And then from there, it leads to opportunity. I remember, doing the same. I had to do the engineering at night, but during the day, we have to pound the pavement, right?
Absolutely.
So go to office, from office to office to office to office, introducing yourself,
Mhm.
giving them your capability statement,
Yeah.
having conversations about your services, what you can provide them. It was interesting, and it was pre-COVID, so it was harder, right? Because everybody wanted to see you there. You couldn't do it virtually and via Zoom. So, and I know you started pre-COVID as well,
Mhm.
2015. So, yeah, tell us about that. How was that journey?
I actually like that journey because to me, getting in front of people
Yeah,
and then being able to actually meet you, and relationship to me from a distance is most difficult. I think it's easier to continue that relationship once you've had it. So I like going out to events and actually meeting
for sure.
the stakeholders
Yeah, in person
in person.
is way more impactful
Hmm.
than virtual, and everybody want the easy route on how to make money. But if you
Right.
can sit down, shake a person's hand, that in person is like way more beneficial than
Absolutely.
that virtual
Now,
life.
post COVID, the benefit is you can do more than one meeting in a day. If that makes sense, it's almost being at three places at one time.
Yeah.
You can do it that is a help.
Mm.
But I truly like getting out and actually meeting people.
Hmm.
So that's
Wonderful. Tell me more about your business. You have air and wellness safety training, but then now you have A&W contractors. So you're just expanding. Tell us about the two.
so Air and Wellness Safety Training evolved into A&W Contractors because we expanded on all of the services. So Air and Wellness Safety Training had began with me teaching CPR first aid and the OSHA, and then the safety consulting services. All of that was Air and Wellness Safety Training. But I found out through IDOT that because I was a flagger instructor and a OSHA instructor and all of that, that I would be able to do traffic control. Because prior to that, I was not in the construction hands-on. I
Yes.
actually was in construction from the attribute of consulting and that, just evaluating the construction site or providing training for the GCs or whatever company needed it. But once I started actually going after contracts as a flagger, well, I'll just say as a traffic control company. And again, that was nothing but God too, because there was a company I was providing services for Air and Wellness was providing operation management services for this other company. They happened to need traffic control. Like as soon as I found out from IDOT that I can do it, then I want to say maybe the next day, next week, however, very soon,
Yeah.
those services happened to come up to be needed. And I was able to provide. Now, the persons at IDOT did help me, as in help me, review the blueprint so I can know how many linear feet and blah, 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 all
Oh,
the
yeah.
intricate things behind it. But I was able to actually provide the service and
Yeah.
pay for it and do everything that was necessary. So I was able to then become certified
Mm.
because I actually provided those services.
Yeah.
And then from there, two opportunities came up simultaneously.
Yeah.
One with CTA and one with the airport needing traffic control. And
Oh.
I was able to bid it. And of course, that was the first time, both of them simultaneously was the first time I've ever bidded that kind of work. So it was just a lot of homework
Yeah.
involved, fact checking and things
Mhm.
of that nature. I had to get in the union. So the first union I got into was the labor's union.
Yeah.
So once I did that, immediately, God just kept, allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
And
I am so proud of you. So, and the airport project, very familiar with that one. You provided us an opportunity to work with you on that
Absolutely.
one. But the reason why I'm so proud of you, and I talk about this all the time, there, number one, there's no black prime roadway contractors, right? So for you to even get in that space, and start to build up and get these opportunities is amazing because you're leading the charge as an African American woman-owned firm in roadway construction. I'm so proud of you. I tip my hat out to you. And any way I can help and or be of assistance, I will be. We were fortunate enough to do your O'Hare design work,
Absolutely.
the traffic control work up at O'Hare. So that was a good project. And, I just want to continue to see you build and continue to see you make an impact. Um, as an African American woman-owned firm, what obstacles have you faced starting the business?
Well, financial challenges would have been an obstacle. Learning how being competitive in bids is an obstacle.
Yeah.
Um,
And when you say financial challenges, what do you mean? Is that access to capital or?
Absolutely, access to capital. Yeah.
Okay. And the banks, were they like really rocking with you? I mean,
N-
eh,
No, no, and I have and had good credit and everything, and no, the banks was in denial mode.
they was
So
denial mode.
absolutely,
Yeah, they did the same thing. I was able to go into the bank and say, look, I have about $5 million lined up in contracts. I got collateral, I got great credit, I got a house, a car. What do you need? And still denial mode. So
absolutely.
yeah, so it's 10 times harder, for us to build a business just looking at the history of the banks and the obstacles we have to go through. But yeah, what other obstacles and challenges have you faced?
As much as the banks were, and I'm just gonna say, even with getting those contracts, I really had to communicate with my vendors, like, because I still I got those contracts, but I had to share with the vendors. It's pay when paid. Like, I can't pay you before they pay me, but I promise you, you're gonna get paid. And so the trust had to happen. It
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. So that was another way of kicking down the door, because in reality, they never did business with me. So how do you trust me? Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
So it still had to happen. So it happened. And so that obviously gave me lines of credit or term credit with them. So although I had to go unorthodox, different,
Yeah.
but it's always gonna happen.
Contractually, right? He was able to, you know, rewrite the contract, and yeah, it's gonna build trust. I mean, at
Right.
the end of the day, they see you moving and shaking. They know you're a legit business. Now, if you weren't legit, that's a whole other story.
Absolutely.
But no one's gonna trust you if you didn't show and prove that you had integrity.
Absolutely.
Just really being a good person altogether. So, no, that's amazing. Was there ever a moment that you saw an opportunity and or a deal and you thought, this ain't for me, and you had to walk away?
Hmm. I mean, I'm certain that it's happened maybe once or twice, but unfortunately, I don't want to pretend like I retained it. Because I'm so focus driven.
Yeah.
Like, once I realize this isn't for me, I'm right on to the next thing.
Uh-huh.
But if anything that make it seem like a trap,
Yeah.
because there are traps out there.
Plenty of.
But if I see that it's not working, it's not gonna work in my favor, then I was in contract. You see, just tell me, just made it come up. I was in contract on a project, and uh, we bid at this project in 2021, and then the work wasn't gonna begin until 2025, and so now I'm letting them know after I reevaluated we reevaluated everything. It was an escalation, so like I now want to share with them what the escalation is, and they didn't want to give it to me. And they was like, "Well, just get started, and we'll write the change." I'm not. I
Yeah.
can't do that because I can't say that you're really gonna. People can say they're gonna pay you a change order and then they don't do it. So if it can't become a part of the actual contract, so anyway, that was one of them that I just walked away from. So and I just consulted, a favorable individual,
Okay.
and they assisted me in knowing how to verbalize it to X-nay to get out
Okay.
of that.
You turned down money. How Adrian? Good. All right. Well, sometimes not all money is good money. So
Not if it's gonna put you in a hole.
definitely, you have to walk away. It has to make sense for your organization, depending on your size, depending on need of the project, cost of goods. So that's very good. Um, there's a lot of talk about DBE program right now, and I know folks are just itching to hear from you and how it has affected you and your business. How do you feel about this assault on the DBE program?
I'm not happy with it at all. Because it leaves you in air. Even though I believe that we will, be recertified and everything, to have to go, I don't really feel like it have parameters. Does that make sense? Like before, it's simply because you're black, you can easily prove that, whatever your race is. You can easily prove that you are a woman. But to have to now come up with a narrative to determine that you are disadvantaged, and I just think it leaves room for rejection in the event they want to.
Yeah, yeah. And for those that don't know, the DB program is a disadvantaged business enterprise, and it used to be based on race and gender. So whether you're a woman, white woman, or if you're a minority, Hispanic, Asian, you qualify to be in the program. But now they've changed it and said, you can't use race or gender.
Absolutely.
The hard part about that, and for them understanding, is all of the discrimination has been based on race and gender, right? There was segregation laws. There was well-known redlining that was based on race. And now you're saying you cannot use anything that pertains to race or gender. So yeah, they made it very cloudy, and then there is no set criteria. So it's very
Exactly.
subjective. It depends on who's reading your narrative, and if they feel, yeah, this person may have been
Oh, I don't think they
discriminated,
have. Mm-hmm.
or I don't think they have, or I've overcome more obstacles, growing up in, Barrington, Illinois, so it just depends on who's looking at this thing. And yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
It's interesting. What do you think should happen? Do you have any thoughts on how they should do their selections and how they should try and get more businesses in the fold?
Um, it's sad that I would rather say they should return to what was happening. That you can be
Yeah.
certified based off of the reality that that you are disadvantaged because of your race or your gender. But at the end of the day, the point is that disadvantaged businesses need to have a way to make sure we get on these local and federal businesses projects. And I don't have the answer. I don't want to say I know. I'm open for discussion, so we can talk about it.
How has it helped your business? How has the DBE program helped?
It helped because I was able to put a lot of people to work. And so that's the mission of Aaron Wellness and A&W Contractors, is to provide training and job opportunities for persons who pretty much are left out or left to have low wage jobs or have to work 3 jobs to create an income enough to have a place to stay.
Yeah.
So we have been able to hire over the 6 years. I want to say we've at least maintained 30 people, 35
Yeah.
employees, and looking to hire more. We've also persons who was not even in these fields at all. Now they have learned new skills, and so they can
Yeah.
actually have pride and just be very happy about the new career opportunities that they.
Yeah, for me, I am on the fence with the DBE program. It's a great program, but if you look at the DBE numbers, um, less than 5% goes to African. Matter of fact, less than 2%, right? It depends on the agency. Most agencies, it's less than 1%. So it's a great program in theory, but is it really working to do what it was created to do? And now, a few years after, due to the feminist movement and so on and so forth, they got into the program. But now in the state of Illinois, 90% of the contract go to white women-owned firms.
Absolutely.
And then that means a lot of these contracts goes back to the same household. So there was always a loophole on how to get into the program. So that was my only hiccup with it. It did open the door, but it also limit you to that 10 or 15% that it's saying, okay, you're a DBE firm, you only qualify for this amount. With this program gone, and with your skills and expertise, you qualify for 100% of it now, right? So now I think we need to demand more. I think the push need to be, if I'm qualified to do the work, and if I can show you and prove that my services and what I'm doing is better than the competition, you need to select me.
Absolutely.
Like, this shouldn't be based upon any type of discriminatory action. No firm want to be known as a DBE firm or give me, your crumbs or the a small.
Not only that, that's the only way I can get in is because I have this certification, and if I don't, then I can't. They don't even want to do business with me. Period. Like, I can't even go for some contracts based on the fact that if you're not certified, everything is about being certified. If that makes sense. So.
We will be impacted drastically once they get rid of the DBE program, because it's a network of folks that continue to do business with one another, and we're not in that network.
That's true.
That DBE allowed us to at least have a conversation and get our foot in the door, and show our services and how good we are. Now we need to lean a lot harder on our elected officials to make sure that we're represented in contracting. So it's an important conversation. It's a tough conversation to have, but I think it's necessary.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So.
And then last, I do want to say that I know of personally 2 companies that they were male. They are male companies, but because they couldn't be DBE, they had like their daughter go after becoming a DBE company. And so this was not the daughter starting a business on her own, or a daughter who's really working in the company. She did this because this is what daddy told her to do.
Yeah.
And I know it because the whole premise was I was talking to this particular company to joint venture on some things. And of course it never happened. And they was sharing with me that they rerouted and went in that direction.
Yeah.
I've
had plenty of those conversations, and folks would just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a DB as well,"
Exactly.
And it was just, and it was funny to them in a way, because it was like there's so many ways to still get in this program that was created to do exactly what you're doing in our communities. You are purposely hiring individuals from underserved communities to have a job and to have the ability to feed their families. Like, that's huge.
That's very big.
That's huge. You're making impact. You're bringing talent into the industry. There's so many things, great things I can say about what you are doing. Do you feel like you're getting the necessary support that you need from the elected officials as well on this?
Well, I would say not, but I'm hopeful. So I'm gonna say not. No.
Okay. My answer no too, but facts. Just so you won't be alone. But we're hopeful.
Right, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they can see the value in it and understand the importance, and let's do something. Let's start structuring some things differently, so companies like ours, or even new companies that like to start work. Some people
Yeah.
are reluctant to start a business because they don't think that they could compete
Yep.
in this capacity.
Yeah.
It's a fight. It's a struggle. It's not easy.
Like, it's a struggle on so many levels. Some people are reluctant to start because they don't see too many people in the industry being successful. Some people are reluctant to work for you because they feel like, oh, wait, I don't even know how you got this far, but I know that you can't get any further, or there's so many obstacles you have to face. And it's funny because people come into your company and they're more fearful than you, and you're the one taking all the risk.
Now that's true, and it's funny because I never knew you had that same experience. Oh, I don't know how long you're gonna be open. What? Like, wait.
Exactly.
Me talking like Debbie Downer. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go through that.
Oh yeah, we go through a lot of things that most companies wouldn't have to go through, and so I hate to say sometimes it's our own people, but you're conditioned to think that, if as long as you get a little, it's enough. Let me take it. Let me be quiet. Let me not say. Let me not ruffle no feathers. But no, you and I, that's what we do. We ruffle
Absolutely.
feathers. Hey,
You gotta push.
you can't get blackballed if you're already blackballed at the end of the day. And so many people, that's what they're afraid of. And it's like, how much are you really making right now compared to somebody else, a counterpart with the same talent and abilities? Like, what are they doing? So, yeah, we definitely got to work together more and come together as a community in order to make sure that we have a maximum impact on the community, providing jobs, opportunities.
And work in excellence, because that's the thing that excellence and integrity is super duper important to me. You have to come with it. You have to come with the attitude that you can do it. You're gonna study. You're gonna look at things after hours. You're gonna get trained. You're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that you're doing an excellent job.
I don't want to hear none of that work-life balance. We hit a grind. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna play hard.
Absolutely.
Right? But at the end of the day, this is an opportunity. Doors opening. Take full advantage of it.
And the
young
people who work
need to
for me have been working for me majorly consistent. I had the same, like a lot of people who started with me in 6 years ago. Once I started doing construction,
Yeah.
they on my team still.
Yeah.
So it pays off. But the whole premise is it's about, again, integrity and excellence. Just doing a great job and coming out with the right attitude.
Yeah. So I'm from Inglewood. You're from Inglewood, right? It's good to, just be from the South Side and the community with amazing people, amazing talent. But often, they don't have the access, or we don't get the access as a community to work in this industry. Now, you're in construction, I'm in engineering. It's very different.
Absolutely.
But we do some of the same work. Now, when I drive by a project, I don't see faces that look like me. You're supplying projects, with young people from Inglewood and from a lot of underserved communities out west, Austin, Lawndale, you name it. What does that process look like, and how do those individuals feel being in one of these high-paying careers position? Like, can you talk to me about the actual impact process of recruiting, retaining them, bringing them into your company, and then how do they feel once they, get embedded in the culture and the work?
I know initially when I first had gotten into the union, I had asked them if I wanted to make sure I negotiated that I can bring in my own. And so what I did was I had job fairs like at Inglewood, Hamilton Park, or Rage had an event going on back then. So I was a part of a job fair. I was part of job fairs with an S. Anytime it was something going on, and even with the RPM, they had events. So I'll just get out there and be a part of the job fairs and share with them that I didn't even have a contract at the time. Just optimistic, just believing God that it was going to be mine. But at the end of the day, I got with the community leaders and I put on some training to teach people how to be flaggers. So I did flagger training. So I already had my staff trained prior to getting the actual
Your
contract.
first contract.
Exactly. So I'd already trained them up, let them know once the contract began, then I'm going to call you guys back so you can begin working. And fortunately, they believed, and they believed in me, and they believed the circumstance. And so once our first contract that began was the RPM project.
Yeah.
And so with that one, I had to start out with 3 persons who had already been in the union.
Yeah.
Because you need somebody out there who already kind of knew the ropes.
Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, they were from Inglewood and from Chatham, and so it was from those areas. So they began out there with the RPM project. But at the airport, myself and my daughters got out there with them to actually, because we had never did any of this before. So we got out there as a family and as, all of us together to learn the ropes to do it.
Yeah.
And we just, had our head up and we was out there to learn, and we didn't pretend like we knew we didn't know. So we talked to CDA and the client, and they actually assisted us in making sure that we was equipped to do it. And then from there, once they learned it, and it didn't take long, they only gave us 2 days of training. And they got it. We all got it. And we always showed up. Nobody was late, because they understood the magnitude of these projects. Yeah. And they also understood that this was a career change. This was life changing for all of them.
Yeah.
Because nobody was coming out making 50-something bucks an hour like that. And plus you get health care and all that.
Can you say that again? How much?
51 now, but so they were making a pretty good penny.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, they came out with the right attitude. And if somebody ever, like I remember a time when I had to get some persons from the union, because they ramp up the jobs, they ramp up and they ramp down. So this took time they ramped up, and I had gotten 2 or 3 individuals from the hall, and they were rubbish. My staff was not having it. Because they understood the magnitude of this project. So we not, gonna let someone come in and tear us up. So at the end of the day, I just think instilling in them, making sure they understand the project and the importance of it.
Yeah.
And they got it.
Yeah. So many good things and so many questions I have. They're making 51 or 50 an hour, and there's positions out there from laborer to operator. It can range from 40 to 80. Like, these are impactful jobs and opportunities. And what I'm hearing is that you're sponsoring and bringing your own people into the unions. Absolutely. Which, typically it's very hard. They're trying to figure out, like, how do we get Black people into the union? Like, how do we get people more involved in on these roadway projects? And through your company, you've created a pipeline where you're hiring talent, and you're like, come work for me. And no worries, I'm going to get you into the union.
Absolutely.
Now imagine if we had more companies like yours doing the same thing. Imagine how it would change the trajectory of our communities, right? The youth. Now, you're talking about high-paying salaries with no college education, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, that's something that's just unheard of. So many times I hear on the news and I see fights for minimum wage, and I see a lot of folks in our community. I remember McDonald's had a thing, and they were fighting for 15 to get a McDonald's position. And I was like, wow, only if they knew there was careers out here that you can make $40, $50 an hour without a high school or without a college degree, right? All you need is a high school.
Yep.
But if you can get sponsored into some of these roles, you don't even need a high school degree, to be honest with you.
No, not in the way that I brought them in, but now I'm not even sure. Like, when you bring them in now, I'm just talking about the laborers. They want you now. They changed the rules.
You gotta take an exam. They tightening it up.
It's not an exam, but they have to come in now as an apprentice.
Yeah.
And companies have to have like a ratio. So I gotta have like 6 journeymen to have 1 apprentice. So at the end of the day, it makes it a little more difficult now to just add people.
That's an obstacle. That's another barrier.
It is an obstacle. It is.
So a bigger company can bring in as many apprentices they want, and you can only bring in a limited amount.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an obstacle. And then another thing is these projects have goals on it, and it'll have like apprenticeship goals. And like it's really unrealistic. Like if I only can bring in, I have to have 6 journeymen to 1 apprentice. I am limited to how many apprentices I really can bring in. And then they got penalties associated with it in the event that you bring them in anyway. So at the end of the day, and that's only with the laborers. The other for me, because I'm in 5 unions. The other unions, they have it's those obstacles are not there.
Yeah, but they're figuring out how to move the target on you. It sounds like.
They did.
Yeah,
They figured it out.
they moved the target on you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, no, but I tip my hat off because I remember working behind the paver, as an engineer with different contractors, and they're building the roads, the bridges, and specifically remember one incident when this one particular time I was with the contractor and they were paving, and I saw a young man and tattoos all over the face, the neck, and he told me, he was like, yeah, I just got out of prison. He was like, yeah, I just got out, never graduated high school. But my dad owned the company, so they just got me in. They stuck me behind the paver, and now I'm making $45 an hour. And I was like, what? Now, me an engineer, I done went to school. I done got a minor in mathematics. I done took all types of licenses. And in my head, I'm like, man, this man making more than me, and I'm sitting here walking next to this hot paver, and so it's crazy because it's about access, and it's about fighting for these opportunities, so that way you can really make an impact and get in on an industry that we're not really represented in.
Yeah. And that's a lot. A lot of my employees have records.
Yeah,
I listen, as long as you can come to work and you gonna come to work and do the job, it doesn't matter to me. I just put
yeah.
it that way. As long as you come to work and do an excellent
As long
job,
as you got the work ethic,
it's all that matters
that's
to
it.
me.
But that's all that. Yeah, that's what it should be.
Mhm.
So, no, that's amazing. Definitely amazing. So, looking ahead, what does growth look like for you? Where do you want to see your company?
We're looking to expand horizontally. We don't only want to do work here
Okay.
in Illinois. So recently, again, we doing work in Terre Haute, Indiana. So we 4 hours away.
And
We're looking to do work in other states,
yeah,
period. And so that's a big deal to me, is just growing horizontally and just create new relationships
yeah,
with more GCs. The GCs that we currently do work with, God has blessed us to have great relationships with them. So we want to just grow and grow.
right.
And I'm very selective as it relates to who I work for or with, or however you put it, because at the end of the day, I'm going to bring major value, and I want that to be respected and honored and
Yeah,
pay, and I want the actual growth and us to have a mutual growth and understanding of working together.
yeah. So the big picture, give
Mhm.
me the big picture. You want to be a nationwide?
Absolutely. We're looking to be nationwide.
Or you want to go international?
We want to start nationwide,
How?
right? So that's what we're looking at. But we definitely are looking at being global.
Yeah,
That's absolute. But right now, on the immediate scope, we're looking at going horizontal. And a lot of my staff, fortunately, are willing to travel. And so I'm just really kind of thankfully employing the
got some good
right-minded people. Yeah.
Yeah,
So and that's important, because even as we travel, persons that started with consumption need to be able to go and grow in those areas, so we can recruit other persons and in different areas. And then we also have a nonprofit where we're going to do consistent workforce training and development.
beautiful.
So because a big deal is getting people trained, so they
Yeah.
can, when they do get out there, they're not, they can be an asset, because time is money.
Yeah.
So I can't train you out there. I need you to get some skills prior to being out there.
Yeah. Can you talk to me? How hard was it for you to get your first contract?
Well, I'm pushy, you know.
Push it. Okay.
Not pushy and out thinking negative. I'm just saying, like, if I really want it, I'm going to be nicely on you, like white on rice, letting you know that I really want to do this. I can do this. We got this. Let us,
Yeah.
give me an opportunity. Because no one started from, someone had to give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so in order for all of these companies to be the companies to be as large as they are, someone gave them an opportunity to prove themselves. And that's kind of where I come from. That's the angle I come from when I'm, talking to them about it. And then I'll show them my track record.
Yeah.
Our track record is impeccable. So, fortunately, we have no incidents, no accidents,
Okay.
and all the jobs are completed. So we do a great job. So we're just a company and then we can do it. It doesn't matter. Like companies always trust us with more. So if we start, the reason why we're doing so many different trades now, we started with safety. We could have simply still been in safety. From there we went to traffic control. We could have still been in traffic control, but they like, oh, what do you think about the fence? You think you can do some fence? Oh, why not? Of course we can do it. And so we get out there to do fence, and then we got an opportunity to do joint sealant and good partners. Clayco has been a very, very, very good partner to us. So good, and Walsh as well. So good partners, persons that know where you are and don't make you feel like your questions are not valid questions.
Yeah.
I think those things are important. So
Yeah, intentionality is important. They, they want to do business with you, so they allow you that room to not only ask questions, but if they see you doing a good job, they allow you the room to expand and to grow with them. So that's amazing.
Oh, we're general contractor now also. So A&W Contractors, that makes us general contractors. So we're general contractors that perform 5 scopes of work. And Aaron Want to Take the Training is operating in safety training and consulting. So A&W Contractors are general contractors, but we self-perform fence installation, traffic control, carpentry, flooring, and taping and painting.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. You think you're going to go after any of the IDOT project?
At some point.
As a prime? Let me know. We can partner now. Design build is something new that we can finally, join forces and we can make some things happen. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
All right. So being an entrepreneur requires a lot of sacrifice. What did you give up to be here in the position that you're in today?
A whole lot of time.
A whole lot of time.
But yeah, I would say I sacrificed money too, because of course, I feel like, if I've had to loan my company money, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we all know.
I have went without being paid for the first 3 to 4 years. Of the business. So sacrifice financially and time has been a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Same here. This is a sacrifice. You got to pour everything you got into it. If this is your baby, you got to treat it like that.
Exactly.
And no one's going to work for free. So you have to make sure everybody else is paying exactly. But us, right? We're the crazy ones that's going out of it. We're the only ones that go work for free. But nobody else is going to work for free. So you have to make sure you make the sacrifice, the right decisions. You have to pay your people first. You have to make sure the lights stay on.
Pay the IRS, pay for us, pay the union. And so it's so many
Which is your second IRS.
Exactly. That's crazy, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's true. They control a lot. So yeah, it's double taxation.
Yeah.
But hopefully with representation. So
honestly, I love it. I love every bit of what I am doing. It's and even with being in the unions, I know a lot of Black companies they want to stay away from, but I embrace it because for one, I think that it provides a good wage. Imagine in the states that they're not union, it's the same job for far less money.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, it makes it very difficult for them to keep skilled workers,
Yeah.
in those other states. And so at the end of the day, I think it's an incentive. I think people want to live a good quality of life and don't mind working to do it, but you want to get paid a good wage.
Yeah, I always wonder why so many Black contractors stay away from union, but maybe it's just not really understanding that you can charge a lot more, right, for the project because you have those wages. You have to use the union wages, and then you have to do your estimate with that thought in mind, so you can get the bigger project. But it's also, once again, it's a second tax body too, because as soon as you fall behind, then there's another thing. So
I agree with that, but that's where again that banking, the financial system is supposed to be able to hopefully be there. That needs to increase,
yeah,
and
to
stop,
support our
to support
community.
because in construction they don't pay you every month, and they, sometimes you might not get paid for 90 days, and
Yeah.
better, it's circumstantial. It depends on the contractor
Okay.
that you're working with. So I think just being able to deal with your finances
Yeah.
or being in a position to get finances
Mm.
is
Yeah.
important.
I never thought about that, how much impact that would have on whether I go union or whether I,
Yes, as you
yeah,
pay them bills, you have to pay that union, what is the dues and all of that, health and welfare, every 30 days.
yeah.
Now you pay your employee, I'm sorry, every week,
Mhm.
but the actual union gets paid every 30 days. And then taxes, it's circumstantial. It could be every 2 weeks. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. If that make any sense. But just knowing the rules, asking questions early,
Yeah.
before you just jump in. And like you said, making sure all those numbers are in your bid.
Mhm.
It's imperative.
Yeah. So your children now work in the industry.
Absolutely.
How does that make you feel as a parent?
Very good. Very good. I love it. I love it. It allows me to, legacy is very important to me. Making sure that my children are taken care of and not in a way where I'm taking care of them
Yes.
is important to me. And so I think it lines up biblically, and all of that. So it makes me feel extremely good.
Beautiful. Now, how do they feel?
Well, different children. So my youngest daughter is extremely about it. My
Yeah.
oldest daughter, it was like putting her in a headlock. Yeah, this is your dream, not our dream.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm pushy again, as I think I shared with you. I'm consistent.
Mhm.
And I just made sure that because I'm there for you in any capacity. This is what I need from you. And so now they do it like second nature. You've met them.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just get it done.
Yeah, and they with it. They seem hard working. Yeah, they know the mission, they know the vision. They like,
Absolutely.
let's go. So yeah, that's amazing. You raised some amazing young people.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you're on the board of Pinpoint Scholars Foundation. Thank you so much for your service. What made you join Pinpoint Scholars Foundation, and how do you feel you can make an impact through that organization?
Well, I joined because Mike asked me to join, and
Okay.
that's one, because I know you. I know you are integral. I know this is important.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes persons may ask you to join something, and then they want you to do everything. It just fall by the wayside. This
Yeah.
is very organized and intentional, and so I am excited about it. I look forward to working with the young people. Well, I look forward to my mission, right? But I'm looking
Yes.
forward to the impact it's going to make on the
For
young
sure.
people, if that makes sense.
For sure, for sure. And I wouldn't have you if you wasn't just as amazing of an individual as you are, starting a business in a male dominated field, coming up with, coming against a lot of obstacles, but being able to navigate your way through and build something just great and meaningful. You employ a lot of people now. The mission is to make sure we're visible, and that our youth can see what success looks like, right? And you're the perfect definition of success, right? And you can't be what you can't see. So I need you not only on the board, but of course I'm grateful for you to join me today. I'm grateful that you're a part of the organization. I think we're gonna make a huge impact all across the city in all communities.
Absolutely.
Because we don't discriminate. We're here to make sure that all young people get access to, number one, our industry,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. If you look at it on every level, access is being removed, and access is really being preserved for the wealthy, those who can afford the best education, those who can afford, the best opportunities in life. And I want to make sure Pinpoint Scholars Foundation, we start up here up north, we go all the way downstate. We make sure that we make an impact, and then we go nationwide and eventually worldwide. We want to make an impact and just bring opportunities to anyone that is willing to do the work, right?
Absolutely.
Because it takes hard work. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your hard work and your dedication,
Mm-hmm.
So, and by the grace of God, right?
That's
First and foremost.
major,
Yes.
major.
Yes. So, no, it's amazing. If someone wants to get a hold of you, right? How do they find you?
Well, currently they can email me at Adrian M at
You
airwellnesssafetytraining.com.
giving out your email?
Oh, why not? They can have my email.
See, that's
That's
access,
the
y'all.
best way to get me anyway.
Uh-huh.
This thing, yeah.
Okay. You got a website as well?
We do. Let me think of it because we just rebranded. A&Wcontractors.co
Yeah.
is the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what advice do you have for somebody looking to start a new business, go into business?
I think do your homework and be persistent. Do not allow other people fears to scare you.
Yeah.
And I say other people because if you desire to do it, just run with it. Go ahead
Yeah.
and do it. Obviously pray, and if you're a praying person, and ask God to lead you and guide you in it. But be persistent. Do your homework. Don't take no for an answer. I don't.
Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
That's great advice. When I first started, I was just surrounded by so many naysayers, that was within the industry, people that you would think would be, supportive
Mhm.
and for you. You would think people want you to do great.
Right.
But there were so many people that said you couldn't do it. And it was even one in particular. It was funny because he always wanted to start a firm. He was a veteran, he was black, and he worked for Illinois Department of Transportation, and it never got enough guts to really do it because he let his fear hold him back. And now, it's just interesting because when you see our vehicles all over the place and you see us actually building major projects instead of figuring out ways to come on board and letting us build and grow together, a lot of us use that fear to stop and that same thing to tear down. So it's amazing, the things you learn being in business, how you navigate when it comes to people, personalities, and just all the different things you learn from, networking, how important it is to taxes, just it's a nonstop game of learning,
Mm-hmm.
pivoting, and just figuring out ways to make sure that you succeed. So
And don't think you know everything. Don't have a problem with asking questions and sharing that you don't know. I think that's okay. You don't have to know. Somebody else know, and they will,
oh,
and they will. Even those that's my competition, I ask them.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask anybody if I need to know. I mean, you either tell me or I have to ask somebody else. Or no, I'm really gonna be persistent and just be
yeah,
honest about me. I'm gonna really not persistent in a negative way. I pray that makes sense. Like,
it makes sense. You gonna
but
bug somebody. It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'll ask, but everybody wanna, so it just depends. But it's nice that you're an open book and
and I
you,
do the same thing. I'll share if someone asks me something.
yeah,
I'm not gonna do it for you because I'm not looking for somebody to do it for me.
yeah,
Okay, you got to do your own work. But if I share with you what it is that you need to do, and you need to do it.
yeah, yeah.
I like to say that because people do think that you're supposed to do it for them.
Right, just call them. How I do this, and can you help me? That'd be the first thing they say. That's the next thing. Can you help me do this, or can you do this for me? No, so yeah, it separates the dreamers from the doers,
Mhm.
right? And if you're doing it, you eventually get good at it, and then you win. So yeah, but no, thank you so much, Adrian, for being here with me today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be. I'm looking at your book, How to Become a Civil Engineer.
Oh yeah,
I am just so elated and so proud
I
of
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, I love this. Oh, I'm just elated. So
Yeah,
I
thank
think we
you,
got
girl.
grow up.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Oh
you.
no, you here. Look, you listen, you can find this on Amazon.
Yeah,
Don't worry. We're gonna give out 1,000 of these across the city
I do too.
together. Also we have Can we be honest about money? I want to teach people how to trade stocks. So this is a stock trading book. It's a lot of information out there about stock, and it's a lot of just bad information, misinformation. It's a lot of fluff. So this just gives you the essential of what you need to know to be successful in trading stocks and to make a lot of money. So yeah, I wrote that book as well, and yeah, we're just gonna continue to build.
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
I'm proud of us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right.